Hey, so in this video we are going to discuss the solution to the 5 basic array question. The first question of which was 2 sum. In this question we were given a target, any number, and we have to find the index of those two number whose sum is equal to this target number. So as I have explained in the video prior to this, that we are going to use the simple logic and not the set or map, which is a more optimized, because this is the first question and you are not aware of how to use set or map, and we will use those strategies in the upcoming questions. So we are going to employ a very simple process. So what we are going to do, we are going to take first element and start one loop to compare all the element with the rest of the element. For example, we will start a loop, for loop I, and we will compare this element and compare with the rest of the element with a another loop. So we will see 2 plus 7 is it equal to target, 2 plus 11 is it equal to target, 2 plus 15 is it equal to target. If it is equal, we will break and return the indexes. If it is not, the loop will go to 7. Then we will check 7 plus 11, 7 plus 15. So this simple logic will be used. Okay. So I hope the logic is clear. If you have any doubts, you can ask. So this is the simple solution that we have created. It's n square, its complexity will be n square. Okay. So a vector we have to return. A vector is also given. It is, vector is like array. I hope you have studied about it in C++. So we have declared the variable. We have started a loop from I equals to 0 less than nums dot size. Okay. Next loop has been started, ij equals to I plus 1 to the next element of the element to be compared. We are going to compare this and we will start loop from this. If we are compare 7, we will start loop from 11. Okay, so I plus 1 will be take and less than nums dot size plus j plus plus. Okay, so it will check if nums I, the first element, or the second element, if this sum is equal to the target that we have to find, then you are going to push both the indexes in the resultant vector and return. Okay, so quite simple. Similarly in Java, in this we have to return an integer array. So we have initialized an integer array with size 2. Then we have started two loops, I equals to 0, I less than nums dot length, and j is from I plus 1, and it will compare the sum, and if it is equal to target, it will return. For Python, the code will be provided to you in a separate document. If you want to refer, you can refer. So don't worry, you don't have to screenshot or anything. You will find the PDF in the course page itself. So here we have to take a result in a list. For I in range 0 to len nums, we can also avoid writing 0 because by default it takes 0, but still it's fine. For j in range from I to length of less than 1, so it will take I plus 1 only. Okay, the range start from the next element. Okay, so if nums I plus nums j is target, then you are going to add both the indexes and return as a result. All the numbers we have run, you can also check running and also submitted, so they will pass all the test cases, so don't worry about that. You can also edit test cases if you wish to do. Okay, so as they have said, they're only going to unique solution for every number. So let's say if I add one more number, so what this will go, this will happen, what will happen? So solution either does not exist or is not unique, because in this code only one valid answer was the precondition. Okay, so I hope this question is quite clear. Next, move on to the third maximum number. So it was a simple question where we have to return the third maximum number in an array. If third doesn't exist, we have to return the largest number. So we are going to use a very simple strategy. We will take three variables, first largest, second largest, third largest, and we are going to iterate the whole loop and compare for each number. Is the new number greater than the first number? Then we are going to replace all the 1 2 3. If it is greater than second, then we are going to replace second and third. If it is just greater than the third, we are going to just replace the third. Okay, so we have to do this question without manipulating the array. Other approach can be, you can just sort the array, it will take n log n and you can find it, but we have to find it in on, which means in only one pass only. So we have to return in int and vector int at the rate. Okay, so as you can see, the range is not given, but if you run this question, there is one case which it gives the minus of maximum value of int as a test case, so that won't work. That's why we have taken 1 2 3 as long so that we are able to tackle that condition as well. I will suggest you to run it with just int, and when you submit you will see that test case, but that will add as a error in your profile, so please don't do that, but you can just look at it. That's why we have taken it long, to cover the largest negative value of a integer. So we have initialized by long min because number can be negative, also can be 0 as well, so we have to take some default value. Okay, and we are comparing int n, another variable, for every element of the array. Okay, so what we have done, if n is equal to any of the value, like if some value repeats in an array, like 2 2 3 1, okay, so when we reach to 2 again, it is same as the 1, so we don't have to do, we will just continue. If the number that we have found 1 is larger than all the three numbers, like if it larger than the largest number also, then we are going to replace the number. The second largest will become third largest, the first largest will become second largest, and the new number will become the largest. So very simple logic that I have explained. Else if it will check if it is just greater than the 2, then only third and second number will change. If it is just greater than 3, then only the third largest number will change. In the return condition, we will check whether 3 is equal to long min or not, which means if there is no third largest number, there are only two numbers in an array. So in this case, we are going to just return the 1, that is the largest number. If it is not equal to it, that there is some third largest number, then we will return 3 as it was given in the question. If you run this, it will pass all test cases. In Java, similarly, we have taken long 1 2 3 and initialized by minimum value. Okay, and we have taken this int n that will traverse all the elements of the array. You can also this is for each loop, you can also run it for loop by the indexes of I equals to 0 to less than size, that not an issue. Okay, first we have checked if the n is equal to the existing number, then it will don't make any changes and just continue, and check for the rest 3 conditions. Okay, if it is largest number, then it will change all the second, third and first largest. If it is greater than just the second number, then it will change third and second only. If it is greater than the third, then it will only change 3. In return, we are going to check if 3 is default, that's the value we have set, which means there is no third largest number, and we have to return the 1. We have typecasted it so that long is converted to int and 3 is given to if in case third largest exists. Similarly in Python, same logic. We have defined 3 variables and defined it by 6.max int minus, because there is no min int, that's why we had to take max int and add a negative in front of it. Okay, so I in nums cover all the elements in an array. If I is greater than 1, we will replace all the 3 numbers. As you can see in this is a specific way of exchanging numbers, swapping numbers in Python. You can study more about it when you're studying Python. If it is just greater than 2 and less than 1, then we can just swap 2 3 and 3 in the last. This second condition is of no use, but we have added it, not an issue. 3, if it is default, then it will just go 1, or else it will go 3. Okay, so the next question we have to do is to move zeros. We are given an array with 1s, zeros and different numbers. So what we have to do, we have to move all the zeros to the end. In place, we cannot take extra array, and we have to minimize the total number of operations, and at the same time we have to make sure the relative order is maintained. So we cannot sort it. Okay, sorting will change the order, and so we cannot take an extra array. So what approach we are going to do is we are going to take 2 arrays. Okay, 2 pointer approach, in which we will define 2 variables which will point to 2 different elements in the array. So let's say this is an array that we have to sort 0 1 0 3 12. So I have defined a variable last 0 position set by O. It will point to the first element by default. Next is the non-zero element. Initially it will point to the first element only, so I will check. So this will go to the index of the 0 that we have maintained. We are going to swap and push all the 0 to the end, so that an n is index that will point to number which is a non-zero that needs to be swapped. So in this loop, it will first check this number. Is it non-zero? No, it is 0. So nothing will happen. N will iterate, the loop will iterate to the next element. It is a non-zero, yes. It will then swap this number with the last 0 index 0. So 1 will go there and 0 will come there. So this way the array will become this, and O will also extend, increment by this at the end of the loop. So now O is here, okay, and N is also here in the last iteration, and 1 becomes, so this swapped here, so it will check it is a non-zero, so it will iterate to next item, it is also a non-zero, O will stay here only, then it will comes to 3. So 3 is a non-zero, so it will swap it by 0 and increment the O index. So 0 will come here, okay, and that 0 will go here. So O is here, okay, N is also at the end of it. In the next iteration it will check for it. This is 0, so nothing will happen. This will come here, and it is non-zero, so it will be swapped to the last index of 0. So 12 will come here and 0 will come to the end. So in this way we can see we have shift all the zeros to the end without changing the relative order, doing it in place, not using any extra space, and we have also done it in the ON. Okay, so let's look at the code that will be done for this in different languages. So very simple code. In C++ we have defined the index last 0 position and initialize it by 0 for starters. Then we have defined a for loop that will iterate across the array. Non-zero index we have taken at initially to 0, and it will start from first element. It will check whether it is a not 0 or not. If it is equal to 0, nothing will happen, loop will iterate to the next element. If it is not equal to 0, then swap will happen. The last 0 index will be swapped to the non-zero number in this index, and at the end of it last 0 position will be incremented by 1. Okay, so then again it will check for it in the next iteration. If the next is not 0, then it will be swapped. If it is 0, it will stay there. Okay, so that's how it will iterate, and I have explained with an example. In Java similarly, last 0 equals to 0, non-zero equals to 0. The loop has started from the first index to the length of the array. If it is not equal to 0, swap the numbers and increment the last 0 index by 1. In Python, last 0 equals to 0. For non-zero in range, length of the nums. Okay, if nums is not equal to 0, swap the number of last 0 and non-zero. This is the method that we use to swap numbers, I have discussed earlier, and increment the last 0 by 1. So let me run it for this so that you are able to see the output of it. So this was the array 1 0 1 0 1 0 3 12, and we have done it output to 1 3 12 0 0, and this is the expected only. So this is the expected answer. So let's look at the next question, rotate array. This is the medium level difficulty question. So what we have to do, we are given an array, we have to rotate it to the right by k times. K is 1, so we have to rotate it by just 1 time. If k is 2, we have to rotate it by 2 times. If it is 3, we have to rotate it by 3 times. Okay, so there are some conditions that we can't apply. We cannot take extra space, extra array, so we have to do it at O1. Okay, so there are 3 different ways, but I'm going to discuss one of the most optimized solutions with you. So let's look at through an example like how we are going to solve it. I have also given some hint to you like which method you must use. So let's discuss it with an example. Okay, so this is an array. Let's say we have to move it by k equals to 3. Okay, so we have to rotate it by 3 elements to the right. So what we are going to do, we are going to first reverse the array. So we will put all the element in a reverse order, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So this array will become 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 in reverse order. So these are n elements. Okay, so in the next we are going to reverse n minus k elements. N minus k is how much? N is 7 and minus k is 3. So from the right 4 elements will be reversed. Okay, so array will become this 1 2 3 4 4 3 2 1 becomes 1 2 3 4. Now what we are going to do, we are going to reverse 0 to k elements from the left. So these are 0 to k, that is 3 elements. So if this become 5 6 7 1 2 3 4, so the output of a rotation should also be the same. Okay, this should be the output only. If we look at the sample use case given to us, 1 second, yeah, so this is a sample use case 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. If k equals to 3, 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 should be the output. This is what we have achieved using our logic here. So this is where we are, 5 6 7 1 2 3 4. What we have done, we have reversed the whole array. Okay, then we have reversed n minus k elements from the right. So 4 elements have been reversed, 1 2 3 4. Then we have reversed first k elements, that is 7 6 5 2 5 6 7. So let's code our logic. I hope it's clear. If not, you can ask doubts to us anytime. Okay, so in this we have created another function to reverse. Let me first explain the reverse function. So what we have done, it has taken nums, the array, the vector in this case, start index and the ending index that it has to do. So we have used a simple logic of while start is less than end, until and unless we have taken two indexes, start is from the left and end is from the right. So we keep on increasing the start and keep on decrementing the end and keep on swapping the extremes, like first and last element swap, then second element from start and second element from last swap, then third, and so on. So it's a very simple logic of swapping, start incrementing and end in decrementing. I think it's a very simple. I don't need to explain it with a example. Okay, so in this case what we are going to do is k and okay, so we are going to do k is 3. Okay, so k will be passed first to reverse the whole array. It is given from 0 to nums dot size, the whole array is reversed. Then array is reversed from k to the last element, that is last n minus k elements will be reversed. Then after that it is reversed from 0 to k minus 1, that is 3 elements and 4 elements, whatever be the value of k. So it's a very simple logic. We have defined the same default function rotate and defined another function below it. Okay, and let's look at in Java. Similarly here we have defined the logic of reverse. Array is here, start index, end index. We will continue to increment the left index and decrement the right, that is the end, and keep on swapping the elements at their respective positions. Okay, first we will reverse the whole array, then we will reverse the last n minus k elements, then we will reverse first k elements. So that's how we are going to achieve the rotation. Okay, similarly in Python we have defined the reverse function with num, start, end. Simple logic of start is less than end and keep on incrementing and decrementing and swapping the corresponding indexes. First we will reverse the whole array, then last n minus k elements, and then the first k elements. I hope it's quite clear. Let's also run the output so that you are clear that it works. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 3, and this is the output that we have also achieved in our logic. Okay, so let's go on to the last question, that is finding the duplicate number. Okay, so in this we have given an array with size n with 1 to n numbers inclusive, n plus 1 integers in an array. An array will contain words from 1 to n. So there will be exactly one duplicate number and we have to find it. So there can be many approaches, but in this circumstances, like we cannot use on square, we cannot take extra space, we cannot modify, that means we cannot sort it. Okay, so we cannot do all these things, so we have to do in on in place. So for this we are going to use the logic of Floyd cycle algorithm, which is used to detect whether there is a cycle in a linked list or not. So for this what we are going to do, let's see, this is an array. So we are going to use the concept of, see, there are two things in an array. If I were to represent an array, so there is an index and there is the value at that index. Okay, so for example, let's see, this is an array, 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 are the indexes and 2 6 4 1 3 1 5 are the values. So if I were to say n at 0 index, so what is kept at there, it's 2. Okay, so if I say n at the next index of that value, n at 2, what is kept at n at 2 is 4. You can see from here 4. And if I say what is kept at n to the index of 4, it is 3. and again n at 3. So this kind of chain will become. If we create this chain, what we are going to get is a linked list. It will convert into a linked list with a cycle if we take the first element as 0. Okay, so you have to understand there are indexes and there are values. If we create a chain of this index value, index value, index value, then it is going to create a linked list with a cycle, in our case only because there is exactly one duplicate. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to create that cycle here first. So start from 2, the first element is 2 only because we will take the first element. Okay, 2, what is at 2 index, that is 4. So next element is 4. What is at 4? 4 at 3, then 3, 1, 1, 6, 6, 5, 5, 1. So we can see 1 is repeated again. If we start plotting numbers from the top in a linked list, then we will get 2, 4, 3, 1, 6, 5 and 1 again. As you can see, a cycle has been formed at the number which is used multiple times in this array, that is 1. So let's look at one more complicated example. In this, the array is slightly bigger, 2, 5, 9, 6, 9, 3, 8, 9, 7, 1. So these are 3, 6, 10 elements and 9 is there at 3 times. Okay, so it's not duplicate, it's 3 times, it's triplicate. So we have to find, we will use the same logic, create a linked list. We will start from 0. In 0 we have 2, so it will be 2. Then again at 2 index there is 9. So we are going to take 9. At 9 index there is 1. So 1 will here. At 1 index there is 5. 5 will here, and so on. So all these 10 elements will be created and 9 will be common at 2 places. Okay, if we start plotting it, it will make 2, 9, 1, 5, 3, 6, 8, 7 with a cycle at 9. So this is the first part of our solution, that we have created a linked list with a cycle of the array that we have to find the duplicate. Okay, so what we are going to do, we have to use the approach of a slow pointer and a fast pointer. Okay, so what it does, it's a slightly complex concept, but I will explain you in a brief. So let's say there is an array and I want to find the middle point of this array without doing multiple iteration, provided I don't know the length of it. Like if an array, there is a 10-step array, we know the length, the fifth element will be the, but what if I don't know the length of it? It's a hundreds of long elements. So what we will do, we will take 2 pointers, slow pointer and fast pointer. We are going to iterate slow pointer by just first one element and increment f by 2. So f will come at 2 and s will stay at 1. Then slow will go to 2 and f will go to 4 because it is jumping 2 steps. So when f reaches the end, slow will not reach, slow will definitely reach the middle. Okay, if there are 10 elements, in 5 iterations the fast reaches at the end but slow reaches at the middle. So that's how we get the middle point in any data structure that we don't know. This approach is specifically applied for linked list. So we have converted into a linked list with a cycle, so we are going to use the same logic. So we will point initially both the elements to the basic elements and we will pop slow by 1, it goes to 9, fast goes to 1, then it again goes to 1, fast goes to 3, so and so on. They will pop, they will meet at 7. Okay, so this is the first pass where we have incremented fast by twice. Then again we will initialize fast to the initial number, and this time we will only increment it by 1. So 7 slow is here, slow will go to 9 and fast will go from 2 to 9. So that's where we will find a duplicate number. Okay, so let's also try our algorithm in this logic and we will see whether we'll find fun or not. So s is there, fast is here, slow is initially here, fast is initially here. So I've incremented by 1, it goes here and it goes to 3, it goes to 3 and it goes to 6. Okay, it comes to 6, it comes at 1 and this one comes to 1 only. So they have met in this case at this position, but we cannot, it won't happen in all the cases, so we have to make another pass as well. So for now our slow pointer is at 1, slow is at 1, for the second pass, and we will initialize fast to the 0. So this time we are only going to move it by 1. So slow will go to 6, this, and it will go to 4, it will go to 5, it will go to 3, and they are going to meet at 1. Okay, so here we will get a duplicate number. So we have seen this logic in 2 examples. Let's see how to code it. Code is also very simple. Okay, so we have defined a function which is predefined. We have just taken a boundary condition where nums.size, the array should be of length greater than 1, because there is only one element, so there can't be any duplicate. So we have initialized slow and fast to the initial element. We have taken do while here because we want to make sure it jumps at least once. That's why we have taken do while. You can also do it by while. You have to just factor in the initial value for that. So it will go by 1 step, nums slow. Fast will go by 2 steps, so it will go to the nums fast of the next nums fast. Okay, so it will jump 2 elements, and it will keep happening while it doesn't become equal. Now we have reached to the first intersection point. Then we will keep slow there, but we will point fast to the first element. In the next pass, we are going to just increment both by only 1 value. We will make both the pointers as slow pointers, and in the end we will have the common. We can return fast or slow because both point to same elements. So let me run this code for you. Yeah, so in this array, the example that I have shown you in the image, 259693891, it's given as output as 9, expected is also 9. Java, similarly in Java we have checked for the length. Slow and fast are initialized. Do while loop is created. Slow is only jumping by 1, fast is jumping by 2, while slow is not equal to fast. For the second pass, we initialize fast to the first element again, and we check until they don't meet, and this time we are going to only increment both the pointers by 1 step, and we will return the common. Similarly in Python, we are going to increment. We have taken the condition of length should be greater than 1. Slow and fast are initialized to first. In this there is no do while, so what we have to do, you have to do it while true and break on any condition that you want to keep. So in Python there is no concept of do while, so we work it like this only. Slow is incremented once, fast is incremented twice, and it will exit the loop if both have become equal. Fast is initialized to the first element, and we are going to do the second pass. This time we are only increment fast by 1 step, and while fast is not equal to slow, when it becomes equal, and it will exit. So I hope you are able to understand this 5 question. In the next, we are going to take 5 more questions on LeetCode, which will be slightly more difficult, and I will share the video. If you have any doubts, you can let us know in comments, or you can ask your query in our WhatsApp group as well.